Okay, which years
to new adventures.
To a new adventure. Yes.
To new things.
Yes. You've been asking for Craig and me to get back together. Mm-hmm. So I felt like if we're gonna get back together, let's do it for a purpose.
For a purpose.
Yes, and that's not that it just be a bunch of shits and giggles.
Absolutely.
Even though shits and giggles are fun.
For sure. And all of that's gonna be built in there, but we're gonna shift the culture, we're gonna move the culture forward. Mm-hmm. So come on in, have a seat. Hey girl, hey boy.
We must just be eating, and having a drink. I didn't know we was gonna get ready.
Well, this is very impromptu.
We did not know. We didn't know.
We didn't know. Please hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel and on Derek's YouTube channel. You guys like how we have it on my channel?
Well, let's make sure we are doing it. Yeah, let's make sure to go to your channel.
Well, I was gonna let you.
I'm gonna go to mine. So I'm gonna go to mine. Make sure we here.
I'm gonna let you do the honors. Hey girl, hey boy, hey. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. They still talking about social distancing.
Oh yeah, so I'm.
And dreamers.
Okay, so we live here.
Okay, we're live on yours.
We're live on mine.
Let me look on mine.
Okay, so this is our first time doing this, so we don't know.
This is our first time.
Yeah, we don't know if it's really working.
Wait, what am I supposed to get on?
Are you on your?
Oh, I am live. Here it is.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is. Yes.
Are you on your?
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yes. Okay. We're together. We're together.
We're working.
Yes, we're working. High spoken word. Denisha said, "This is exciting."
Yeah, this is exciting. I'm excited about this.
This is too.
So me and Craig have been trying to just figure out how we can push the culture forward, and we have these conversations. And today, I was talking about no facts, no films. And
explain to the people what no facts.
Oh, yeah, because everybody know. So in the black gay culture, it comes down to dating.
Not even just the black gay culture. Though.
You think it's the gay culture?
Just gay culture too.
Just gay culture, just
in general. No facts, no films. No. It's kind of an online.
Yes, it's like the secret rule of dating. So when you're trying to date, it's like they don't want nobody fat or they want nobody feminine, basically. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, fat and feminine is also relative. Because
femininity is relative, because some people who think that they're masculine aren't necessarily masculine.
Yes.
And then, there are people who think that who consider themselves fat and they're not necessarily fat.
Well, fat in the black gay culture is anything that's less than muscular.
Well, listen, old in the gay culture period is anything over 30. So you're a senior citizen just like me. Now I may look really young. Now I look a little rough tonight.
Yeah, but I mean,
I look a little rough.
Well, I'm not a senior. If I'm a senior citizen, you're on your deathbed.
Bitch, I'm dead. I'm already dead.
You're already dead. So,
yeah.
So we want to have this conversation because I feel like we don't talk about this.
We don't.
And there's a lot of people that are in this dating realm that may be in the no facts, no films. Mm-hmm. That may be fat and film. That may be, and just kind of figure out where this thing goes and that. Because I think that when you do look at couples. In the black gay culture,
it plays a part.
Yeah, and and the couples in the black gay culture have a look. There's
and again, let me just clarify this because there's some people in the comments that they haven't said anything, but I'm sure that there are people saying, well, that's not just specific to black gay or men of color,
right?
But we're specifically talking about men of color.
I also feel like when it comes down to just in the gay in general, white gay has its own everything,
right?
So that's why I like to stick with the black gay because we don't have enough conversation,
and that's who we are,
and that's who we are. So why not have the conversation for that?
Because for me, it's about shifting culture, moving the culture forward. Mm-hmm. I talk to you guys on my platform mostly about bridging the gap. I believe that's what I was called to do. I believe that's what my work is designed for, is bridging the gap between the gay and lesbian community, the heterosexual black community, and the black gay community, and so on, and even the trans community, the gay community, the trans community. So when we were talking, Derek had steamed some crab legs and some lobster tails.
Well, we thought we was coming over just to eat.
I was just coming over just to hang out.
And then so we just got to chit chat, and it was like, oh, well, let's just figure out, because the thing is that we at Craig do have great conversations, and we do have conversations that we would like to share. We're trying to just kind of figure out how to share it.
Right.
And then Craig said, well, let's just do it.
Yeah, I said, let's just do a conversation. Now, of course, we had talked about this pre-coronavirus too. We had talked about doing what's your thing? The thing that the king and queen.
With Kings versus Queens.
Kings versus Queen, which is a panel discussion that Derek J did before.
Yeah, so it's the gay version of Mars versus Venus.
Right. And so we had talked about doing that, but of course, in the midst of this whole coronavirus thing, we were figuring, let's do something virtually. And I said, well, let's just do this. And it was Derek's idea. And he said, well, how do we approach it? Like, how do we discuss it? And what I said to him was, most of us, and again, we're talking about Black gay men, but this particular statement applies to gay men, period. But most of us came into the community either through online, whether it was a chat line or the internet or the club scene.
Yes.
And no facts, no films is one of those things that you've heard. If you're gay, you've heard no facts and no films.
Yes.
And for some, it's very damning. For some, it's very painful. And we want to have the conversation about your experiences, especially those that are overweight or fat, if you will, and feminine.
And femme. And then the ones that may be fat and masculine or small and feminine. Or like just we want to hear the whole, or the person that don't want to be dated with a fatter femme.
Right. Because body shaming isn't just something that women experience.
Yeah.
So that's what we're getting to.
Yes.
Body shaming isn't just something that women experience. Gay men experience that as well. It's a weight issue, just like there's ageism in the gay community. And for those of you that follow me, and I'm always posting hashtag he's 43, my birthday's coming up, I'll be 44. But the reason that I do that is not just to be saying, oh, I look good for my age. The reality is,
like, did you make that on my
look, you tap a bitch on the shoulder. What was that
I'm just saying, you made it seem like you was like, I mean, did people tell you or just something you came? I mean, this is a real question, Craig, because people could just think you just assume that you look good for your age. I'm just asking. I'm asking you a question.
Derek, don't get it messed up because I got this, because I need
I'm just asking you a question. That's all it was, the question. I'm not trying to be shady, but finish.
Anyway. But part of the reason, I hope that's for me and not for Derek.
Probably for you, because my thing is new.
Brittany, was that for me or for Derek? I hope that was for me.
I don't think my people know how to do that yet. But the reason that I post hashtag he's 43 is to remove the stigma of age from the community. Just like I tell my women that follow me, don't get, age is a blessing. Be grateful to get to the next point. You know what I'm saying? Just to get to the next year. So I really want to remove like that stigma, of getting older, because again, as we said a few moments ago. Where are you?
No, I haven't posted any naked pictures. Just a little skin. Just a little skin.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But as we said a moment ago, a lot of people think that once you get older, a lot of gay men, once you move beyond 30 years old, most people think that you're over the hill. And for me, I just think that at 30, that's when you're just starting to unlock your power. At 40, baby, it's over.
Well, I don't know yet because I'm not there. But thank you. I will use your experience.
You must start trying that.
I'm going to use your experience. So if you guys fit into this category of being fat or femme or not, or you that's not what you're looking for in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's not that I I feel a way towards people that say it. But the thing is that wonder if your mate is heavy set, or wonder if your mate is feminine,
big breasted,
big breast, so
heavy ankles.
And what if your mate is all of that? Well, because you have this strict moment of this is what I like, no fast, no femme.
You have
marginalized.
You've marginalized, yes, because you have a specific a type
of that you lust after.
And I talk about that in Book of Jewels. It's like having standards. I wasn't trying to plug. But Book of Jewels is my most recent book. It's available at CraigRedderStewart.com. But seriously,
Right.
but having a type,
Mhm.
I believe, will keep you single. Having standards is something different.
Mhm.
It's okay to have standards
Mhm.
because it's like, I want to be treated at this level, you know, it's about, you know, what
Knowing
you're
what
not
you- knowing
willing
what
to,
you want.
knowing your worth and knowing your
Yes.
value. But having a type, he has
Mhm.
to be 6 feet tall.
Mhm.
He has to have a college degree. That will keep you single.
I mean, with a college degree is not.
But you know, but there are people who feel like, well, no, I need to date someone who has a college degree.
Well, no, there's successful people without a college degree.
Absolutely, but you
Yes.
have people who get caught up in their mind and they're like, oh, he or she has to have a college degree. I can't date a man who has children. Baby, that might be the love of your life. And because he has 1 child or 2 children, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then the other thing is, to your point that you mentioned a moment ago, I personally believe
this is why we're gonna have this conversation.
What's that?
Because of that question.
So who are gay fat guys supposed to date?
Mimi Alvarez. That's why we're having this conversation, because if you fit into this, if everybody that doesn't want, if everybody says no fats, no films, and it insinuates that nobody wants to date that person.
Nobody wants to date a guy that's feminine, and nobody wants to date a guy that's fat.
So if you're both, you're
out of the running.
You're just out of running. So yes.
And the reality is, here's what I know to be true. As gay men, I don't care how masculine you are. Come closer to the camera. I need you to hear me. No matter how masculine you are, how passable you are, there's something that indicates that you're part of the community. Because you can't find a straight man and a gay man.
That is true.
You can't. We all have something.
They find very difficult. Yeah. So, yep. KJ. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go.
I have some friends that classify themselves as fat and femme, and they find love, and they find online dating very difficult. It saddens me because they are great people, but the gay scene is so brutal and cutthroat. And that's the reason too that there are Black gay pride events for what do they call it? Big boy prides.
Big boy prides.
They call them big boy prides. So for those of you who again are maybe unfamiliar with that, you know, there are Black gay pride events that happen across this country. Most major cities, even some small cities, have Black gay pride events. But heavier guys or fat guys, and I did quotes. Craig, are you gonna give a lot of relationship advice, but you're single? Why is that? Hold on, Dana Wins. But a lot of the big guys, they have a big boy pride now because they didn't really feel accepted at the regular pride events. So they have their own pride events where it's all big boys. I mean, thin people can go, but it's catered to big boys.
Yeah.
But to answer Dana Wynn's question, she says, Craig, you give a lot of relationship advice. So the reality is I can give advice because I've been in that position. I go from my own experience, and I don't have to be in a relationship to be able to give the advice. I learned from my life lessons. And, you know, the reality is I'm single, not because I can't get into a relationship. Anybody can get into a relationship. You know, what's the line from Love Jones? Somebody please tell me how to stay there. You know, when you're talking about getting into love and, you know, getting into the relationship isn't the issue. I'm very selective at this point about the kind of relationship that I want. And I just refuse to lower the bar. You know, I've been in a position where I lowered the bar, where I used to confuse compromise for settling. I no longer confuse those things. I am a victim of no fats. Yeah, see, and so we want to hear from you guys because we need to give you guys the email address. Let me go ahead and type it over here.
So let's say, let's be clear. The ones that says no films are normally feminine. Opposites attract. So if you're seeking masculine, you are femme. Says, well, no, not really. It's a lot of masculine men that say there's a lot of masculine men that say they want other masculine men. But once again, like I said, masculine is relative, so we don't even know. And when you see that masculine person, you be like, "Child, please, you more feminine than me." Like, because don't get it twisted. Like for me, people just automatically assume. Now, I'm not the most masculine man. No, I'm not. But yes, I wear women's heels and women's clothes, but I'm way more masculine than people think I am. You know, I know how I could change a tire. I could do manly shit.
Things that are deemed as
that deemed are masculine.
Because just like there are things that are deemed as feminine, but they're not necessarily feminine. Those are just things that we classify. But that email address that I just put across there, if you are a gay man of color, and you want to participate in the panel, email us at that. We want to see a picture of you?
Yeah, and just your information. Just tell us who you are. Age. Where you from. Just information about you, and send us a picture so we can see who we're talking to.
And we're going to broaden this conversation. This is going to be the first one that we're going to do.
Yes.
But we're going to do a conversation because somebody messaged me earlier about doing a conversation about bridging the gap between lesbians and gay men. And that's a conversation that's been near and dear to me as well.
And
I've talked to you guys about that.
This is another conversation we'll be having also.
I question why we just about never see gay or trans relationship amongst YouTubers. That was one of the other things that as well that we want to talk about. Are none of you relationships or marriages? Do none of you want children? I absolutely want children. But I believe, Cheryl, to your point, this first conversation that we're going to have, this panel that we're assembling, it really does speak to why I think some of our relationships don't blossom and flourish, is because we get caught up in the fat and the femme thing. Who's fat and who's femme? And I remember, when I first came into this community, because I don't use the word lifestyle. When I first came into this community, I remember, because I was not comfortable in my own sexuality, I remember dating guys or meeting guys, and I remember looking at them and counting all of the feminine qualities, all of the things that did not work for me. And when I say they didn't work for me, because it meant that I would not be able to move through the world without people knowing that we weren't gay, or without people knowing that we were gay.
Now, K-Girl, the thing is, so me and Craig, we talk daily. Craig know where I've been. I know where Craig been.
We've been sitting in the house. My nail tech, me and her talk daily. We know where each other been. So we know where we know each other. We ain't out here in the streets partying and then coming over each other, sitting with each other. So yeah, we know each other. Yeah, we haven't been out.
Yeah, we trust each other enough to understand that he'll be truthful with me and I'll be truthful with you.
Yes.
Oh, y'all got a lot of good information.
I know you guys got a lot, and that's why I have to turn away from the comments, because I'll get caught up reading the comments. What is this? Shouldn't each individual like the people individually? Fats and femmes seem like another way to discriminate. Well, that's the point of what we're talking about. It is a way of discriminating.
It is,
and that's why we want to bring, because it's something that, again, it's threaded through the gay community, but it's not something that we really talk about.
It's the unspoken dating rule.
Unspoken dating rule. That might be what we need to call the panel discussion. The unspoken dating rule: no fats, no femmes.
And there we go. Yeah, write that down.
Hold on, let me write that down.
And I can speak for myself, which I think, because when you're growing up in it and you understand that's what happens. You find yourself like, I know I'm amazing. I'm an amazing person. But you know what I said?
Well, who told you amazing? Just like you just said to me.
No.
Just like you told me a moment ago. Who said I look young?
Yeah, but no.
Who said you amazing?
I told myself I was amazing.
Okay, I told myself I look young.
I asked you a question.
And then the people follow.
I know I'm an amazing person. So but when I said, when I had to realize myself, I thought to myself, I said, well, would I date me? And you know what I'm saying? And then. And
that's the question most of us need to ask.
Yeah, but then
and would you put up with someone like you?
When I didn't put up with somebody, I was talking about just me physically. And I said in my mind, I was like, well, no, if I tried to talk to me, I probably wouldn't talk to me because of the stigma that we have of no fats, no femmes, all that kind of stuff. Like I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. Like,
but why would that be an issue for you? Like, are you bothered by femininity?
I don't know, but that's why I had to start digging into myself, because you had to so this conversation is not just for them, it's coming for me also. Because the thing is that that's what we just been in I'm considered to be a feminine male. And so from our feminine male side, we've all been bred to have to lust and want after a masculine male.
And I've read someplace somewhere, and I'm sure many of you have seen this. Seeking or chasing masculinity is a feminine quality. It's a feminine trait.
Right. So I was just like, oh shit. I've been working on myself, because of that. Because I'm like, well, maybe why couldn't I date a equally feminine male as me, or so.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I be? I mean, this ain't even the panel discussion.
No. Yeah, let's be honest. We have the conversation.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I put this comment up here because Booby86 said, no matter how you mask it with tats, muscles, and fitted hats, they are feminine. And I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody said to me years ago, Jasmine Bonet, who's a transgender, she used to perform drag. She said to me years ago, she said, Craig, y'all have y'all drag too. She said, y'all look down at us because we're trans and we dress like women. She said, but you all have your drag too. When y'all dress up in them Timberlands and them fitted caps and them baggy jeans, that's your drag. But here's the thing that I will say to the point that you just made. People a lot of times assume that I only date, and we talked about this before we went live. People always assume that I only date guys that work out and go to the gym and have a body. I've dated guys that didn't have a body. That's not what, and I've told you guys, if you've been watching me for a while, I've told you guys before, I've dated guys that didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the thing that drives me. Muscles are not the thing the thing that drive me.
I like them.
I like them, but that's not the thing that I like them, but that's not the thing that drives me.
I mean, we just being honest.
Right, but just in all full transparency, I understand, going back to the point that I made a moment ago, we all have some sort of feminine quality, right? Some sort of feminine trait. For me personally, I don't care if a guy has feminine qualities because I know we all have them. What I am not attracted to is a guy that, and this is not to shade anybody. I'm just being. Can we be honest here?
We're being honest.
Can we be honest? I personally don't like a guy that arches his brows, that wears makeup like on a daily basis. It's one thing if you're on TV, but you wearing makeup daily. Yes, Eddie, I like an intellectual. Like I'd like to be stimulated. You know what I mean? In that way. I don't necessarily want to date a guy that wears women's clothes. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
now I've gotten to a point where I can be comfortable being friends with you. I'm okay with that. But when I first came into the community, I couldn't even handle that. Like all of that was too much for me. But that had nothing to do with them. That was my work. And I've done that work. But in terms of attraction, sexual attraction, I'm attracted to, a man that's, pretty natural.
Yeah. So that's what
I know some of y'all gonna grade me in them comments.
Would you date you?
I would date me.
Okay.
Yeah. I would date me.
No, that was just a question.
But you said you wouldn't date you.
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Well, I said,
because you don't like a feminine guy. Though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I also don't think that I'm that. I think I can. I mean, I am feminine, but I don't think I'm that feminine. So I'm just saying that I can. I don't think I'm not as feminine as.
No, there are degrees of femininity.
So that's what I'm saying. It's so complicated.
They really are, and that's why we want. That's why we want to hear from you guys.
Yeah,
that's exactly why we want to hear from you guys, because we want you to email us.
Yes, you better work this.
I'm on it.
You better work all this. I didn't know we could do that.
I'm on it. Yes, I'll show you when we get off.
Yes,
but we want you to email us if you have a story where someone, let's just say perhaps. You met someone on a chat line or on the internet and you felt the need to use a fake picture because you're fat, quote unquote, or you're feminine, quote unquote, because again, it's all relative and it's all subjective. We want to hear from you because we want to know who is going to be able to be great in this conversation. Yes. We really want to have a conversation. And again, we want to move the culture forward because I do think that this type of discrimination that we have within the community, it is part of the reason why we don't have as many successful relationships that we could have.
Yes.
And then, like I said, this is going to be one of the first conversations that we have because we're gonna have the conversation about gay men and trans women, about bridging that gap.
Gay men and
lesbians, women. And then even we can even evolve to the conversation about black gay men and white gay men because there's a divide between us as well.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? There's a divide there too. That was good.
That was good. And you know what I feel so bad about that?
Y'all Van Zandt. Y'all Van Zandt. Y'all Van Zandt.
What I do feel bad about too that we know, but I think because they can so easily mesh into the real world is that we don't
white men.
Not white men. No, trans men. We don't talk about trans men at all. But I think because they can. I think they can just fall into the fold a lot easier than
they can.
Yeah, because I was just like they just kind of just fall into the fold and they're just there.
They can,
and so it's really not a really big.
You know what I think? I think that trans men, and for those who are trying to follow the conversation, we're talking about women born a woman but live their life as a man. I think trans women and lesbians can navigate through the world better than
trans men and lesbians.
Trans men and lesbians, I think, can navigate through the world better than any of us because men accept lesbians quicker than they will a gay man.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, so we haven't scheduled a date yet for this. We're gonna do it right here on YouTube. This panel, but we're gonna bring guests on. Derek J and I are gonna be sitting in the same room, but we're gonna bring like 2 or 3 different people on to have this conversation. So we're just looking for you right now. So we need you to email us, share this video, tag your friends who you think might be great for this conversation, and we're going to have this conversation because I really think it can bring forth some healing.
Yes. I mean, for all of us, it'll be a learning thing. And like I said, it'll be a learning for me. It'll be a learning for Craig. Because once again, what I've learned when I try to have these conversations is that most people that haven't experienced the conversation don't believe that this is a real thing. It's fake news. And it's like, no, it's not fake news, sweetie. This really is what happened, especially in the dating world. So
it does. And again, I can't say this enough. I remember when I first started dating, and I think people still do this. When you date, you kind of you kind of subconsciously or consciously, you're counting how many feminine qualities a guy has.
Yeah, you do.
You're looking at him,
and it's so crazy because, and then you know what, and that feels so bad.
And this is why so few of us show up. Now, I'm gonna show up. At 43, I'm showing up. You're gonna take me. What Mary J. Blige say? Take me as I am.
And you know what? It is so sad because, and the thing about it is that we're smart individuals.
We are.
And the thing is the fact that we let such primal, minuscule things.
Yeah, picayune. There's a word, picayune.
Oh, picayune. What does it mean?
Minutia, bullshit.
Okay. Things, discourage you from somebody, but oh, child, you see how he drank his drink? Fuck that.
Because he holds his pinky, because his pinky is out when he look.
Right,
that pinky is out.
You like child? Oh, nah, girl.
Now I don't do that, but we all have something.
We all have something.
I don't have the gay list. Derek doesn't have the gay list.
No.
You know what I mean when I say the gay list? Hey, stop. You know, the gay list. We don't have that, but we have other things. And so for me, it's about normalizing it because I personally think that when we're gone from this earth, the generation that comes behind us should be better because we were here. As simple as that. And I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember I said to you one time, because Derek J is the hair extraordinaire.
Yes, I am.
I'm a writer. And I believe that we're like the Harlem Renaissance of this time. Like the Langston Hughes, the Zora Neale Hurstons, and
I would accept that.
Do you remember me saying? And I said, I really do think that that's who we are. Like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, people are gonna look back like that was our Langston Hughes and Madam C.J. Walker.
I accept.
Come on, Madam.
Oh, my titty popped out. Hold on.
She had, Madam had titties.
Oh God.
Lizzie Lou said, I see this being something podcast. Everything is great for LGBT as well as straight people, but definitely a teachable moment for us.
Yes. That's all it is. It's about just having teachable moments. I think that, Craig has been on me about being more present in the social media. But the thing was just kind of this, what am I talking about? Like, I don't want to get on here and kiki and chit chat.
Right.
But I want to be able to have a conversation. I think that this is where we're going with this.
Yeah.
So I like seeing feminine qualities in a man. It shows that they are comfortable in their skin. Guys that claim to be straight acting usually have major insecurity.
Absolutely.
That is true, Andre. I believe I understand you with that one.
Yes, absolutely.
Down low is on a black male thing. As someone who attended predominantly white schools. So the thing about, I hate the term down low, but
me too.
Thank you. I'm dark cisgender, but I never heard
about it in the gay community. Yeah, and see, this is the thing. It's really about opening your mind and exposing you guys to different things. And that's why when we do these live videos, or when I do my live videos, I'm always over explaining stuff. And some of my people say, Craig, you think you know everything? You ain't got to explain everything to us. But I'm always explaining things because I just don't assume that everybody understands what I'm talking about, whether I'm talking about apple cider vinegar gummies or, you know, something gay. You know, I'm always trying to explain because I understand that everybody's not going to ask, but what does that mean? So I'm always trying to over-explain. I'm trying to anticipate your questions before you even ask them. We don't have enough representation for all of the gays in media. We need y'all gay men to be yourself. Exactly. Somebody said, what is cisgender? Cisgender is
another name, child.
So cisgender could be gay, straight, whatever. So basically it's when you're born male and you live your life as a male. Or if you're born female and you live your life as a female.
Another name.
That's a simple way of saying it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it, Miss Diva to you. Come on, Miss Diva to you. She said, I'm here for it. I want to know this is coming from a heterosexual woman. I love you both.
Love you too, darling.
Thank you. But yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this. So we haven't set a date yet. It's just really going to be contingent on when you guys email us.
That's interesting.
Your input, and then we can decide. Yes, I can decide.
So and as we're on here now, which I'm talking to Craig after we get off. But as we're on here now, and I'm seeing how this is flowing, I can see many ways that this is going. So we will have the conversation.
And I think what we should do is, because again, we were saying that we're going to be in the same room, and then we'll bring the guests on. They're going to be on the panel to be on the camera with us. I think we should probably have somebody here to moderate these questions.
Oh, yes.
So we don't have to do that. We can just talk, and then we can talk to the guests, and then somebody can just kind of click on the different questions and put them up as they come, and then we can
all... a third person. Ooh, Jesus.
Well,
so we quarantining, child.
I know.
I think we're doing a good job, honey. One could be talking while the other one looking, child. Listen, we're supposed to be quarantining now. I don't know if we can do a third person.
Somebody said, what's the email address? Okay, so the email address is, there it is.
There it is.
So that's Gay Like Me, Convo. Because, Derek J's podcast is called Gay Like Me.
But I see that so the Gay Like Me Convo is me and Craig's situation.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you haven't subscribed to Derek's podcast, subscribe to his podcast. Yes. It's free.
Yep.
It's called Gay Like Me, and it's available for free over on
everything, Spotify, everything. You find a thing.
Yes. And then, of course, my podcast is called So Much to Say, and we talk about black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Everything in between.
Yes, Chris Major. We're gonna social distance. Now, Craig trying to add more people to the pot, and we can't have that many people over here.
Well, I might be able to get Nikki to come. You all that follow me, Nikki. That's my assistant. She's been clear.
So what you say? How do you know if you're not represented on YouTube because someone doesn't want to talk about their sexuality?
Represented? What do you mean?
I don't understand. I thought I was reading that wrong.
I'm not sure what you mean by Dana Wins. What do you mean if you're not represented?
But
look at Bianca talking about how much you paying for the moderator. We ain't paying. Well, if I bring Nikki up here, I'm gonna have to pay her. But
okay, we can do that.
Right, but I mean, other than that, no. This is the volunteer work.
She said, "We better watch Craig. You have a room full of people." Yes, I know. I'm like, girl, what?
No, I'm not gonna have a room full of people. Cut it out.
But yeah, so if you guys have experienced the No Fast No Films racism, because that's what it is.
Yes.
Or sexism, or body
shaming. Yeah.
Yeah. If you've experienced it, email us. We would love to hear from you.
Yes, we definitely would.
And and see what that is. But we want to come on and just have that conversation with you guys.
Yeah.
And so you can see, because Craig said people don't read. So we need
we posted it on all of our social media platforms.
But we need to come on and really explain.
Right. But I said to Derek, we probably should just go in here real quick and do a video because some people like that interaction. And we're sitting here right now. We're live. With our content.
My content almost go, child. I ain't supposed to be drinking.
Why?
Because I'm supposed to start my cleanse tomorrow. But
that's tomorrow. Today is today. Shit.
But let me tell you guys, this is going to happen pretty quickly.
I actually need a new pot. I need a new glass.
I'm going to make you a new one, Craig. We're going to be weird. So this, we don't know the exact date, but it's probably going to happen next week.
Yeah.
It's happening.
We want to do it soon.
Yeah. We're going to do it really quickly. So
Yeah, we definitely want to do it soon.
Someone said we need more representation on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of representation on YouTube. You just got to figure out what you like.
And to that point, Dana wins. I hear gay people say, or LGBTQ. Sorry, some people don't identify as gay. Some people identify as queer or whatever, non-gender conforming or trans. But I hear people say all of the time, well, there aren't enough gay films or movies or television shows. No, they're out there. Most of them are independent. You just have to do your due diligence and look them up. You know what I'm saying? I done wrote 4 books. They're films. You got creators all of the time putting things out. Yes, we'll do a flyer as well. We can get with our flyer person, and we can have a flyer done. Once we solidify the panel and the date and the time, we'll put a flyer out. Trust me, you will know.
Because we want you guys to be there.
We want you guys to be there. We got 310 people watching right now at least. And so we definitely want to double and triple that number because this is a conversation that I think is long overdue.
Long overdue. And being able to have somebody really somebody really indulge in the conversation.
Yeah. So listen, if you're not a conversationalist, don't email us. Don't email us.
You better move around, Greg.
Right. Don't email us. We want somebody who's really going to contribute to the conversation. We want to hear your experience. Like if you've been ostracized because you're fat or femme, we want to hear those stories. It's important to hear those stories. So don't come on here just to be sitting on the camera. Like we want somebody who can talk.
Because we can really just move you away.
We'll cut you out of here and keep it moving. Okay. I don't play with y'all.
So what you're supposed to do? Hit the likes and subscribe and all that.
Hit the like and the share button if you're following on my channel. Hit the subscribe button. It's over here. Hit the like button and the subscribe button is on this side. Do the same thing even if you're watching on my channel. Go over to Derek J.
And if you're on my channel, go over to Craig.
Yes, and hit the like and the subscribe button. And we're always uploading new content. Derek is.
I'm new.
Derek is doing better now.
I'm doing better.
But I stream live. Oh, let me explain something to y'all. I have some stuff over in the crock pot right now at the house. I done put together a whole video. I'm gonna upload it and everything. Listen, I'm putting together like vegan meals and stuff. I'm pescatarian. I still eat seafood. We had crab legs tonight. But I did a vegan vegetable stew, baby. I'm gonna upload the video.
Well, vegan vegetable stew is kind of oxymoron.
It is an oxymoron.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But you didn't have to try to pull me together.
I just want to make sure. Well, I don't want people to think that I'm just letting you just, say anything.
I have all of the fixings and things in it. You're gonna see all of the ingredients. You see me step by step putting all of the ingredients in there. So I'm gonna upload that. I don't know if it's not gonna be tonight, but I'm gonna upload it. So subscribe to my channel, okay? Turn the notifications on. It's important. So you've been asking me for recipes. I'm gonna start putting more up there so you can see them.
And you know what? And we was talking earlier. For all of you men that are heteronormal, that are not ready to really have that that want to have this conversation, you can just do the audio, so we don't have to see you,
right?
So so still hit us up if you would like to be part of the conversation. If you are the masculine hetero type that doesn't want people to really know, not that you're DL, but you don't want people to know that you're gay. We can still have this conversation. Yeah.
They said, "Can we see the shoes, Derek?" He got on
flip flops. I'm in my house.
His toes are done though.
Yes, I got a picture.
He got a powder blue polish on his toes.
It's teal.
Yes, it's a vegan stew. Is it Edie? It's Edie. It's a vegan stew. Yes. But so Takesha said, Craig, can you explain your connection to Elon Harris as an author? He was an amazing author. Gone too soon.
People were talking about him.
Yes, people ask me about him all the time. And here's the thing. I've said this before on my channel. When he died, and Derek and I were just talking about this before we came on here. He said, he's dead, right? I said, yeah. I think Elon died about 10 years ago. Don't quote me, but I think it's been about 10 years ago. But when he died, and I was fortunate to meet him twice, yes. Once at a concert and once at his house. But when he died, I didn't know him well, though. I didn't have his phone number or anything like that. I just met him twice. And when he died, there was a shift in my spirit. I hadn't written any books yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew that his death would mean something for my career.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand it because it was years later that I wrote my first book. And when he died and I started writing my first book, it clicked. It was like, oh, that was what, and when you look at the Amazon reviews for my first two books, that's all it says. Oh my God, you're the new Elin Harris. You picked up where Elin left off. Oh my God, this reminds me of Elin Harris. So I take that as a huge compliment because I was such a huge fan of his early books.
Mm-hmm.
And I say his early books because I didn't read a lot of his books that, came in the latter part of his career,
Mm-hmm.
but I read all of his early books. And I admire that, I really do. And I think the difference between what I do and what Elin did was I write in first person because my first two books are about my life, where I'm sure the stuff that he wrote about, some of that stuff was real,
mm-hmm.
but his was fictionalized.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is first person. These are things that I saw, did, witnessed,
Mm-hmm.
So that's to answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're looking forward to hearing from you guys. Please email us at that website if you're a gay man of color.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And you've experienced discrimination.
Discrimination because
you were either fat and femme.
Right.
Any of that.
And then, and just as I was saying this just now, bridging the community, I also want to do a conversation with Black gay men and Black women where there's contention.
This is Black straight women.
Black straight women.
Uh-huh.
Because oftentimes the assumption is that we always get along, but we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had that conversation about some people that we know personally. And sometimes Black women and Black gay men bump heads.
Yes.
Bump heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I really would like to have that conversation because I know there are some Black women that have issue with gay men,
mm-hmm.
especially when they're effeminate, or especially when they deem them as very attractive and a waste
of
a gay man.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to have that too. So we're gonna plot this out.
Yes. So we have many convos.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
All right. So listen, have an amazing night.
Yes.
Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. I say that at the end of all of my videos.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a tagline yet. But...
Say your prayers. Get down on your knees and say your prayers. And if you have heavy ankles, or your knees are a little swollen or something, you can't get down there, then, God accepts that too. Just get in your bed and you say your prayers. But if you can get down on your knees, my grandmother used to tell me, if you can still get down on your knees, you need to get down on your knees. What is that crawling and shit?
No, it's not. It's the,
I'm from Baltimore. I don't play that. What's going on over there?
We gotta get our tree trimmed. It's rubbing up against
the tree is rubbing up against the building? Because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that scratching sound is, but I don't play that.
Yes, we gotta get the tree trimmed back. That's all.
Every now and then you got to get pruned. Sometimes you get too majestic, right? You got to get pruned. Like, what is that? What the hell is that scratching over there?
That's all.
But anyway, get down on your knees, say your prayers, be thankful for something. Try to be thankful for at least 5 things. Start with 5, but I promise you can get to more than 5.
You better have your whole byline.
Listen, I pray every night.
There we go.
I get down on my knees every night. Now, sometimes I'm really exhausted, and I'll just say, and I'll say it real quick. But usually, I try to get down. Usually, I get down on the floor. Even if I say a quick prayer, Father God, thank you for the prayer. I say it real quick, and I jump into bed.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, y'all.